If you've been looking at your real estate business, you're probably looking at leverage. Patrick Mercer brought on Catherine Fagan of Mercer Real Estate Group to bring in the leverage. So if you're looking for the next two, take a look at what Patrick did to build the business he's built. Patrick and Catherine, welcome.
Hi, Brady. Thanks for having us.
So I think you're also from San Diego, is that right?
I am born and raised, never really left. I left for school and that was it. Came back here, can't beat the sunshine, it's perfect.
You went all the way up to Chico, California.
Yeah, the Harvard of the West Coast.
And you basically jumped off Interstate 5 and got back down 4 years later to San Diego.
I wanted to get back as quickly as possible.
And
it was nice up there, but it's lovely down here.
Well, and lovely because you focused on a neighborhood called Kensington. That's a charming neighborhood in San Diego.
I love it down there. It's right by the 15 freeway. It's very central. There's about 2,000 homes there. And it's architecturally significant, Spanish, a lot of traditional houses, craftsmen, 1920s, 1930s build.
And what I love about your business is that you went deeper into the neighborhood rather than really wide.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure when I first started that I always knew I was going to farm and have a mail component, obviously a digital component of that, but I wanted to make sure that I had something that worked before I scaled it, because once I had something that worked, I knew I could scale it, and that was the easy part. Finding the what was going to work with the mail pieces, the content that I was putting out, everything, that's the hard part. The scale part's easy.
Interesting. So for you, the effort was in the creation.
Correct.
And the scalability was the easy part.
Yeah, because the scaling really just takes money.
Mm-hmm. True. And talent.
For sure.
Right.
And I'm so fortunate to have Catherine on my team.
Thank you.
Well, Catherine, unlike Patrick, who moved to Chico and back, you moved, 21 times?
20 times by the time I was 21.
20 times by the time she was 21. Okay. So she likes to move. She's in real estate.
It's funny, I had a lot of realtors in my life as a young child. I was born in the Marine Corps, and we moved every year.
And your dad and brother served in the Marine Corps.
That's correct.
So please thank
Semper
them.
Fi.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank them.
Thank you. I will. And I can tell you that I never dreamt of being a real estate agent when I grew up. I went to college and tried really hard to get all A's, and then was going to go to graduate school, which is why I came to San Diego, and I met a realtor who was part of an internship program, and he just took me under his wing, and I'm so grateful. As things progressed, I mean, that was 25 years ago, and sometimes I can't, I mean, he's practically 25. It's so crazy to have partnered up with we have a great synergy, and after all those years of doing my craft, which is working with buyers, Patrick knows how to make the phone ring. He's got a great rapport and established respect by the Kensington neighborhood, and he makes the phone ring, and we can talk to clients and
what I love about
what we do.
Yes, and what I love about the business is you've taken the concept of leads, listings, and leverage.
100%.
And you've mastered all three. So you focused on the leads first, right, to get the farm going.
The listing leads.
And then you got the listing leads, which then generated the buyer leads, which then created the leverage.
They always do.
Right? So how did you know that you needed a Catherine?
Well, I've been with Keller Williams for 5 out of the 6 years I've been in the business.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, love Keller Williams. But Gary Keller always said listings are always leverage. You can go out and you can market a listing, you can't market a buyer. And so I always took that to heart, and I knew if I focused on one thing, which was only sellers, and that's, I haven't represented a buyer in 2 years that we've worked together. I knew that I could put my branding and put the marketing out there, and then buyers would come. And then if I partner with amazing agents like Catherine, they take care of the buyers, and next thing you know, I get emails that say, Catherine has another escrow.
Right. Well, nice. I think you're right that you may not be working with the buyers, but your standards are attracting the buyers.
100%. And the nice thing with the farm too is people see that we control the inventory in a 12,000 home farm. So I'm starting to get calls where people say, hey, I see that you control this market. I'm looking for X, Y, Z. And I say, perfect. Well, why don't you come into the office? I have a buyer partner named Catherine who you would absolutely love. They come into the office and we kind of show them what we have coming to market, which everybody loves. And she gets to meet them and they love Catherine and they kind of go from there.
Well, it's a good, polite an appropriate handoff to a team member that you know will get the job done. Who's moving to San Diego in Kensington? Where are these people coming from?
Yeah, great question. A lot of people think that the migration is going from California elsewhere. Certainly, some of it is. A lot of that, I think, are people that have been frustrated and can't get into purchase their first home.
Yeah.
So I think those people are going to Idaho. You know, they're searching for affordability. The people coming here, I would say every third offer is New York City, Chicago, a lot of cold weather places
where the weather is not as great.
Weather's not as good. They've been told that they can work remotely for the last 2 years, and they've been sitting in their condo that's 45% more expensive than any condo you could have downtown, and they don't have the weather. So they come here and they're searching weather, more affordability, if you can believe it.
In relation to what they're coming from.
What they're used to.
Sure. Yeah. So you've taken the concept of getting the listings, which puts product on the shelf, then the introduction to Catherine. What is it like working with a luxury buyer right now?
Oh.
Easy? Not so much.
Well, it depends on it's all about the stars aligning and listening and educating them on what's realistic, but it's my job to listen to them and hear them, but also to not set up unrealistic expectations. Sometimes we get it done very quickly and amaze ourselves, and we're so proud of our new homeowners. And then sometimes it can take 6 months, or it could take 6 years. Everything, there's so many factors that are involved. And
well, both of you have this calming persona. I think if I were a buyer and I had missed out, that Southern hospitality that you offer would keep me very calm.
Oh, good.
Do you feel that? Do you see that in her?
Absolutely. I think you touched on it too. Catherine's very good at setting expectations. And if a client is coming to her and they get under contract right away, and then they see a home inspection and they freaked out. We had a client that did this recently.
Yes.
I can't imagine a buyer freaking out after a home inspection.
Over a 1920s home?
Yeah.
So what she does is once she realized that scared him, she said, okay, she came back to the table and said, well, we're gonna start looking at newer builds, possibly townhomes and newer construction, because I've seen thousands of these home inspection reports from houses built in the 20s, and in my professional opinion, this is nothing that's crazy alarming. It's okay that you were alarmed, this is you purchasing the house, but this is what we're gonna see on every subsequent house after that. So she is very good at setting the expectations where some agents wouldn't want to say that to their client. They think they're gonna scare them off.
Well, and I don't think we realize that a home built in 1920 is now 102.
Crazy.
It's old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a little different showing your Carmel Valley buyer, and then when they say, I love the charming character of Kensington. I said, yes, it is very charming and has a lot of character. Let's go see it, but let's talk about what that means for you with your electrical, your plumbing, and your roof, and your foundation. And yes, San Diego has so many great options.
Asking the questions, understanding what they want, setting the expectations, keeping them calm. When we look at behind the curtain, right, at the inside experience, what does the world look like for the two of you and your team? What's a typical day?
So we're very fortunate that we have a director of operations. Her name is Jennifer. She's been with me for 4 years. And she kind of runs everything in the background. So I really don't touch contracts. I obviously double check them before they go out and everything, but she handles all of the paperwork and everything that goes on behind the scenes. We're very fortunate to have a director of marketing as well. Her name is Kai. She's been with us about a year, so I don't really touch any of the mailing pieces, the social media.
By the way, your social media, if you want to follow him, is golden. It's very, very good.
Yeah, thanks to Kai. She's very good at what she does.
She is.
But again, like we talked about how we leverage everything that we do. I'm really good at getting people to call, and once they call me, I think I'm pretty good at having them trust myself and my team to represent them. And that's really the goal, because once you start scaling your business, it can kind of get out of control. And as long as you focus on what's bringing them in, and you have the systems in place, like Jennifer and Catherine with the buyer's agents, and our marketing Kai, I kind of focused, my job is to get sellers in the door and my sign in the yard, because I know that that's going to produce buyers for her, and it's going to be a great relationship.
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on camera is because you've set the standards in place.
Yeah.
So that they're very focused, and you've brought in great talent, so that allows you to focus on your one thing, which is presenting to sellers.
That's all I do.
Right?
I love it, yeah.
Dream job,
Yeah.
dream job, right?
Yeah.
You primarily work with sellers, and you have a team who works with buyers.
Correct, yeah. So I focus on the sellers primarily, and then I'm super fortunate to have a team, Catherine, buyer's agent, that works and focuses with the buyers.
Do you have any challenges of just going after that next listing in a market that's as competitive as it is right now?
No, it's the easiest thing ever.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Okay, so we're done. We're actually done with the video.
Yeah, I mean, I challenges every single day. I think that's the biggest misconception when people see somebody selling a lot of houses and making money. They think that, oh, you know, they get coffee in the morning and a couple cocktails with lunch and then a couple evening nightcaps. It couldn't be further from the truth.
So it's not like Bravo, TV.
You're seeing the absolute best side of everything that they do. Every single day, morning, afternoon, and evening challenges nonstop. If it were easy, I mean, everybody would be selling $100 million worth of real estate every year.
So I've had the pleasure of interviewing some of your clients without you knowing.
Oh.
And because that's what I do. And they've shared wonderful things about you. I don't think any of those would surprise, but I'm curious, how would you describe Catherine?
Wow. Catherine is vivacious and extremely passionate about what she does. I mean, she's not a transactional real estate agent where it's like, yep, come in the door, sign this, we're gonna get an offer accepted, and I'm out of here. Complete opposite. I mean, she really befriends these people and cares about, you know, this big decision in their life. So very personable too.
Did you learn that from your upbringing in moving around?
I think as I look back and start to think about those kind of things, I realized that I was forced to be friendly and outgoing and to adjust
Because you were always the new kid in the classroom.
And that was okay. And now I'm here in America's finest city and started in this job very organically. I wasn't planning it, like I said. And I feel so fortunate because I've always been able to do what I love and I didn't know that was what I loved.
And I know the two of you have a very tight relationship.
So yeah, we've become great friends and we work really hard together. He's got as much of a passion about it as I do, and we're not pushing each other. We're doing it because we enjoy it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So what are 2 or 3 words that you would use to describe Patrick?
Well, Patrick is dedicated and he is well respected and smart and charming and fabulous. He's excellent. I would hire him to sell my home.
That's
Right.
good. That's a great testimonial right there.
I would.
So both of you have your one thing.
Yeah.
You're primarily working with sellers.
Correct.
You're primarily working with buyers.
Correct.
Obviously, you're going to step in when you need to.
Mm-hmm.
What are a couple pieces of advice you can give to someone who's primarily working with sellers?
I would tell them to focus on what works and what brings the business in. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's certain activities that are not money lead generating activities, which are fine. You should sub those out and leverage that. But people have to run this like a business and focus on what is bringing the money in, and double down on that. And the lead pillars that are not don't show you the ROI that you want or aren't bringing any business in, abandon it immediately. Too many people and too many listing agents or just agents in general, they try to do everything.
Right.
You know, or they'll try farming for 4 months and say, oh, I didn't get a listing out of it. You know, for me, most people say, oh, farm for a year. What I've noticed, farming takes 2 years.
Okay.
And it's a saturation thing. And, you know, I'm at the point, which is kind of the biggest pillar of our business is farming. You know, we hit 12,000 homes and put out 24,000 mailings a month. So it's grown into this big thing, but I doubled down on it once I kept getting a return. And just the goal is to get to 30,000.
Well, I think the key point you talked about earlier is you found out what was going to work and then you scaled.
Exactly.
Where some agents could go scale out not knowing what's actually going to work.
Yeah, and if you do that, you're not going to have the systems in place. You can't really build the systems until you piece together the systems over time. So yeah, if you just, if an agent came into a random marketplace and put out 24,000 mailings a month, and they were a new agent in that area, not going to work.
No.
Yeah.
So Catherine, you're coaching our ladies and gentlemen in the audience. How can they be the best buyer specialist the world's ever seen?
To be the best buyer specialist, eat your Wheaties in the morning and take good care of yourself also. Get your little workout in, and then start your day by picking up that phone and answering, whether it's the marketing pieces, but meeting with those clients face to face. I always love to have a initial orientation, like an initial consultation, and just talk about the home buying process and listen to what their ultimate goals are, but then maybe reel it in. Have you talked to a lender? Let's be realistic, and I'm here to help you. But we need to establish some parameters of what your goals, and then here's what I think can work for y'all, and does that make sense? And let's get to work. When do you want to get to work? And ask the questions and listen.
Part educator.
Yes.
Part therapist.
Yeah, definitely a therapist, like a hairdresser.
Counselor.
Sure.
And
yes.
cheerleader.
Cheerleader, yeah, you got to stay positive. Absolutely, good point.
Catherine is so good at that. That's one thing I've noticed about her is she gets so excited that these
I
people
do.
can't help but feel excited about their new purchase. And she also, it radiates through her when she's meeting with these clients, but she truly believes that buying a house is the best thing that you can do, especially here in Southern California. I mean, anywhere, right?
Right. Well, and your energy comes across in social media. So how can our ladies and gentlemen follow the two of you on social media?
Yeah, you can follow me at Patrick Mercer SD, and Catherine.
I'm Fagan Cat. Are we talking Instagram or?
Whatever you'd
all
like.
All of it. Yeah, Catherine Fagan and Fagan Cat.
Yeah.
All right. And you're primarily focusing in San Diego County at the moment.
Just San Diego County at the moment. Obviously, the farm's the biggest component, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, I'm so glad that you came into the conversation to give everyone a focus. And that is focus on what is going to work. Success will give you the clues, and do more of that. And anything else you just let go of.
Absolutely.
Right. And Catherine, congratulations on aligning with Patrick. Sounds like it's been a great 2 years.
I feel very
Vice
fortunate
versa.
and
Yeah,
blessed.
I feel very blessed. Yeah.
Well, we're thrilled to be in business with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.